Earlier this week, you sat down with San Diego's U.S. Attorney Laura Duffy, and she was an assistant U.S. attorney here for several years. As I recall, San Diego's former U.S. Attorney Carol Lam was fired for not following the Bush administration's priorities. So what do we know about Duffy and her relationship to the Obama administration?
Well, Duffy says that her priorities are very close to the national priorities, and she says that in her meetings with Eric Holder, and she's met with Obama also, that the feeling she has is that the priorities are reflective, but that Holder is not controlling her decisions. He is trusting her and other U.S. attorneys around the country to adopt their own ways of implementing those priorities. But she's also established herself as a very gutsy prosecutor who's not afraid to put herself at the center of the action.
Well, thank you, Alison. So let's go ahead and take a look at Alison's interview with Laura Duffy.
So Laura Duffy, thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
So you had quite a key role in going after the Arellano-Felix cartel, and in fact it was you who descended by rope from a helicopter to inform Javier Arellano that he was under arrest. What did that feel like to be confronting somebody that you'd been going after for years?
You know what, it was interesting. It was interesting finally sitting down face to face with somebody who I'd really, actually, as you say, been tracking for years. And the reason that I decided to do that was because as a female, especially in dealing with Hispanic males, I want to always get my first foot in the door and let them know that I am in charge of the case and it's going to be me who they're dealing with. And I think that that is strategically a good move, to see that individual as soon as I can, and particularly in a situation like that where he was not expecting the arrival of the individual who would be leading his prosecution.
So that was a key moment, but in fact the cartel is not dead, and now you're faced with perhaps an even more difficult situation where you're up against rival violent cartels vying for dominance.
We are up against rival cartels vying for dominance right now, but I think a very important thing that has shifted, and it really is a measure of the success that we've been having despite what might be viewed as these episodes of very dramatic and spectacular violence that have been going on along the southwest border, is the makeup of the cartels has really shifted. And it's shifted from these very traditionally organized, hierarchical, structured, well-financed, large networks that stretch from Colombia to southern Mexico, Mexico City to the border, to these really relatively smaller, less well-financed, less well able to operate with the kind of impunity that the major cartels operated with over the last many years in Mexico.
But it seems like we see new drug tunnels popping up. We saw another one just last week. What is it going to take to control the situation?
I think that the reason that we're seeing more so than we have in the past things like drug cartels coming up is because we have put such an emphasis on building up the infrastructure between our land ports of entry and at our land ports of entry, that it's like the hose. Once you squeeze it in one place, it bulges in another. And cartels are kind of taking these very costly and desperate measures to move their drugs in. And they're building things like these tunnels. And these tunnels are not only a drug trafficking southwest border criminal organization issue, they're a national security issue, and they get our top focus and attention.
Do you think that we in the U.S. are doing enough to curb the illegal weapons smuggling into Mexico from the United States?
I think that this is a problem that deserves and is getting our extra attention. I'm a member of the Attorney General Advisory Subcommittee on Southwest Border and Immigration Issues, and this particular topic is the issue of our most recent meetings. And we are working together as a collective, U.S. attorneys along the southwest border and the 5 southwest border districts, to propose new legislation that we're asking to be supported by the department as far as weapons exportations and the criminalizing of that, because there's not really a particular statute that fits that well. And also to go after straw purchasers in the United States who are supplying weapons one by one. And it is really a 1 by 1, 2 by 2, 10 by 10 that these weapons are making their way down south and into the hands of the cartels.
So how much of your resources are you using to enforce illegal immigration?
We have a very robust immigration practice in our district, as do the Southwest border districts throughout the nation. However, one very unique characteristic about the Southern District of California is that even though we occupy only 141 miles of the southwest border between Mexico and the United States, out of a 2,000-mile border, 60% of the population along that border live in San Diego or in Mexico adjacent to the Southern District of California. So we have very large populations and a very large migrant entrance into the district. And what we really focus on is two categories. One, immigrant smugglers who are preying on and exposing economic migrants to very dangerous smuggling methods to get them into the country and so that they can get work. And we are also focused on criminal immigrants. And these are individuals who have serious criminal felony convictions, individuals who have been deported from the United States and who are back in the United States illegally, and who are really transitioning through our district, not coming here to find jobs and settle, but transitioning through our district and committing crimes as they do so to facilitate their movement to other places throughout the United States. So that is where we focus our very scarce and limited resources when it comes to immigration.
How much should we be concerned that there are people, perhaps with terrorist motives from countries like Somalia, are using this border crossing?
I think that that's a concern that we always have to have, especially in the post 9/11 world. Our borders, north and south, that's a primary concern, and it is getting extra scrutiny. That people are entering the United States, whether it be through ports of entry or in between ports of entry, or the possibility exists that they're using means like these tunnels to enter the United States. So that receives our utmost attention and devotion of resources.
Laura Duffy, thank you very much for spending time with us.
Thank you for having me.